Good evening, guys. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again live and in color. Hello, everybody. Please make sure that you like the stream. This is going to be a subscriber-only chat. Big shout outs, first of all, to the customers of theafricansuperstar.com. Also, big shout outs to our members only. Members only, I did post a new video for you today on the community tab. So please do check that. You actually going to see behind the scenes of me on the Denta Show. The Denta Show is a really big deal here in Ghana. So I actually shot my episode last weekend. Members only is going to get to see some behind the scenes. Also, big shout out to those of you that are contributing to the ongoing music project. We had several super chats last night. Much love to you. I also have PayPal. I also have Cash App. The details are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. My email, if you need to reach me as well. Today, I'm going to talk about, is Ghana uninhabitable? Now, obviously, I live here in Ghana. I love Ghana. It's an amazing place. But current events are going on, and I've been talking about the Ukraine and Russia situation. And actually, something shocking has recently developed, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, guys? If you're here, leave me something in the chat. Make sure you like the stream, support the stream. So there was all this hoopla because, you know, there were Africans that were stranded in Ukraine. They were going through, you know, some racial stuff in regards to not being able to get trains to evacuate the area. Also, when they were reaching the Polish border, they were not allowed to, you know, cross into the Polish border. So several of them went on to Romania. Now, there was like I said, there was a backlash. Oh, you know, the African governments aren't doing anything. They haven't, you know, tried to help these students, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, Ghana chartered some planes to go retrieve some of their citizens. And guess what? They sent a plane to Romania, and when they got there, some of the students refused to board, said that they were being evacuated against their will. They did not want to go back to Ghana. They were going to take their chances and stay in Europe. Now, when I saw this information, I was absolutely stunned. I was absolutely stunned, you know, because this sentiment, there's so much to say about it. First of all, it doesn't garner respect. Okay, you know, you should have some pride irrespective of where you come from, period. And you're in a wartime situation. Okay, the country that you were residing in or whatever is going through a crisis at this moment. You're being accommodated temporarily in other European nations. Okay, and immigration is no joke in the West. A lot of people know that. A lot of people have heard horror stories, or maybe even it's happened to them in regards to being stranded in Europe, not without documents, and the struggle that ensues. This is crazy, you know, and so the question is tonight, is Ghana uninhabitable? You know, I stand to be enlightened by fellow Ghanaians. You know, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it, because in my opinion, no one in their right mind would choose to stay in wartime Europe over coming back to Ghana to safety. You know, if you've been displaced from your house or your school, that means you don't have a place to live. You may not have any income. How are you going to eat? How are you going to work and survive? You know, these youth have just witnessed racism among their peers. And yet and still, they're willing to roll the dice and stay out there in the current climate, which I just think is insane. Now, I'm going to pull up the tweet so I can actually read it to you. You know, and social media has been really quiet about this, because everybody was slamming the governments. Oh, the African governments, you know, they're not doing anything. There were people in the tweet saying, I blame our leaders and blah, 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 you know, and now they have chartered a plane to go and retrieve their citizens and bring them home. And some people say, you know what, I just choose to stay. I just choose to stay in Europe and roll the dice. And it's crazy. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so Mr. Fintuo Tahiru, which I don't know if he's a government official, but he tweeted this. He said, the first batch of 17 evacuees from Ukraine will arrive in Accra from Romania this morning. This was posted, during earlier today. It says, but 6 people refused to leave Romania after their flights had already been purchased. They said they were being evacuated against their will, so they had to be left alone. Okay, so like I said, they, went through all that drama in Ukraine. All right, saw what it was, saw what was going down. Some of them traveled again to the Polish border. Were not permitted to go into Poland. Romania, then accommodated some people at their borders and gave temporary visas, probably just due to the conflict, whatever it may be. I assume that before the flight, took off and headed to Romania to retrieve them, they gave their information to the government officials that they were going to be coming on the flight. And before the flight got there, they just said, nah, we're going to just try to roll the dice here in Romania. And so, I actually saw this tweet in one of my many, I have so many Facebook groups that I'm a part of and things like that. It came up and kind of was a topic of discussion because some people were like, are they okay? Are they mad? I personally don't feel that Ghana is so uninhabitable that I would choose to stay in, wartime Europe than come here and be in my home country. I just don't understand. And I think part of this like deep disdain has kind of been passed through the generations. I know I was having a conversation with my new friend Cecilia the other day, and she was saying, our parents' generation just has such a negative view of the continent, and they have instilled that in a lot of youth, and they have put the fear in a lot of youth. And so, the thought of them living out their life in their own nation is far-fetched to them. Big shout out to Samson. He's the first in the chat tonight. This is subscriber only. So this is for you guys. This is for my over 2,000 subscribers. Much love to you. You get the privilege of chatting with me today. The rest of you need to subscribe. Holla. So, I had the conversation as well with my neighbors. And they think that it's crazy. They said, you're out there in Europe. If something happens to you, if you go missing or you get bombed, you can't even have a proper burial. Nobody is even going to be looking for you. They talked about what just happened. What just happened 2 days ago in Ukraine? They were already segregating. Okay. They were saying, hey, this is, we're going to get our people to safety and you guys roll the dice. Big shout outs to African Millennial. I'm going to open the call lines. I hope she gets in here and shares her topic because I know we was on the same wavelength of not caring about this stuff. But as it unfolds, it's just insane. And it's also very ridiculous because, I assume most of the people in this room have traveled. Okay, if you've traveled, let me see a number 1, please. Big shout outs to African Millennial. She says some of us were murdered in 2014 and kidnapped. I guess there was some kind of conflict in Europe. And, our people were, our people don't really get it. I don't know. We keep going through the same things over and over and over again. And it completely boggles my mind because I would think that home would offer the most comfort during this time. And let's be real. Ghana is one of the premier countries in Africa right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the place everybody wants to be. It's not like it's you know, Congo where the land is just ravaged, or like Somalia. It's not like there's military, you know, Muslim is extremists blowing up across. You know, it's definitely way more safe than any place that's experiencing war. I'm pretty sure if I was in a town and tanks started rolling in and missiles were getting fired and bombs, that's very traumatic. Why the hell would you want to be there? And you're being accommodated temporarily in Romania. Okay? Do you think they're going to just let you stay in Romania forever? Do you think that if Romania gets confronted with the same kind of circumstances as Ukraine, they wouldn't do the same thing to you? I mean, I don't get it. You know, now I asked the question, hello, guys, are you awake? First trivia question. For any of you that have traveled, let me see a number one. You know, like I said, I assumed that the government officials were in contact with, you know, the refugee students before they sent the flight. They have to kind of measure, okay, what they're dealing with, the situation on the ground. By the time the flight got to Romania, 6 of those students had said, no, I'm not going. So, you know, the government has also funded this. You know, the government has responded, and I think responded in a reasonable time. You know, they did send out a memo prior to this incident and kind of advise people, hey, you know, you may want to consider getting out of there. At that time, it would have been at their own expense. But, you know, they did also send a plane to help get people home. And it's insane. What's up, guys? Can my moderators let me get a like count? You guys, are you guys in there? Can y'all hear me? I mean, we've been having an influx of spectators lately. You know, this is meant to be a discussion, okay? That's why I had it in the evening, so you guys could get in on this topic. All right? I don't think that Ghana is uninhabitable. You know, now, yes, I'm a diasporian person. Yes, I live a certain lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. But still, you know, I would say if you have family here, you even have an advantage. And I really don't think that your family, I mean, unless they just don't give a damn, I don't think that your family would prefer that you be in a war situation or that you're being shuffled around, you're living unstable. They don't know how your well-being is, you know, with you staying in Europe as opposed to you coming back. Okay, so I'm going to actually read some of the comments that came up on this topic. It popped up in one of my chats, and that's how I actually got aware of it. And because, you know, our people are absolutely incredible. What's up, Stacy? I see you there. With justifying this nonsense. So one lady said, well, maybe the students that travel back home, they're actually wealthy students and they have something to go back to in Ghana, but the impoverished students will probably opt to stay in Europe. And, you know, the person who posted the situation said, you know, no, none of those students are impoverished. I actually believe that because of the cost of traveling is not, you know, I've always said this, you know, the people that travel are not dirt poor. They can't be, because the cost of it is astronomical. And when you're talking about, you know, an African currency and you got to pay in dollars and you got to pay in euros and you got to pay in pounds, you're talking about people that are paying, you know, triple to quadruple their local currency to do their documents, get plane tickets, you know, pay tuition. You know, those of us have been in university, you know, as an international student or whatever. You don't get the aid for local, you know, because you're considered international. So that means your parents have to pay. So that means that the students that are likely in Ukraine are not impoverished people. Hello, they had to fund their journey to Europe. Okay, and we want to have this image of impoverished Africans, and that's not real. You know, I mean, people are living good here in Ghana, you know, and things are challenging maybe here, but things are challenging all over the world. You know, people here seem to think, okay, we have problems here in Ghana, and then when we get to Europe, the problems evaporate. No. So let me go ahead and I'm going to read some of the comments that came along with this post. Okay, so one of the people, this is the comment I was talking about. She said, those who got on the plane have wealthy parents. Those who chose to stay will go back to Ghana and live the life of poverty despite having their degrees. Those people will rather take their chances with war than just be walking in the streets and not able to provide. Listen, I haven't got a like count yet. I hope you guys have the like counts. All my moderators, I don't know what's happening unless all the people watching me are not subbed. And then if that's the case, you need a sub. So you can get in on this conversation, because I just want to know. Maybe I'm biased, but I live in Ghana, and I don't see it to be impoverished. I live in Accra. I have been to, some village areas and things like that. I visited Kumasi. I can't say that I'm going to choose war over Ghana. I can't say that I'm going to roll the dice, with the Russian tanks and all of that. Let's get the lights up, guys. But the call lines are open. I'm going to preface my Ghanaians on this. Please let me know. Is Ghana uninhabitable? Is it just like I can't live in Ghana, that I'm going to stay in a war crisis because I just can't go back to Ghana? Okay. I'm persecuted there. I'm not going to eat. I don't have any shelter. The conditions are just so deplorable that I'd rather be a homeless here in Ukraine or Romania or whatever than go home where I have some family, go home to the warm weather. It's winter time right now. They were showing videos of these people out at the train stations, freezing at the Polish border, not being permitted to cross. And, those of us that know cold weather, see, Stacy, that's my girlfriend. She's from New York. She likes cold weather, but all the rest of us with our sanity, standing outside in frigid temperatures is something that, it's awful. It's like torture. I even saw one lady with a brand new baby. She was standing at the border trying to get into Poland. They wouldn't let her with a brand new baby. Why would you choose? Why would you choose that? As far as this person who made the comment, I don't know where she's from. Her name is Lynette. So I can't really get a lot from the name. I don't really know. I think she's a Black American though. Hold on. Yeah, this is her voice. So she's a Black American. So I don't know what she's talking about. I don't even know if she's been to Ghana or whatever. One of the other comments says, if the students complained about their own failed leadership in their own countries as much as they are now complaining about how racist Ukraine is, maybe there would be change at home and they wouldn't have to go to foreign lands. This is what I've talked about previously as well. But first of all, I don't think Ghana's that bad. I don't think Ghana is that bad. Foreigners are coming here left and right. You have other Africans here. You know what I mean? You have I've met Nigerians here. I've met people from Cote d'Ivoire. There's people from Togo, Benin. They come to Ghana, to have a better life. I don't see that Ghana is so uninhabitable that you want to run away. There are some places that, okay, for instance, like there's an ongoing slave trade in Libya. The country's been in crisis ever since they had the civil war, ever since Gaddafi was killed. Okay. Libya it's a challenging place. I haven't heard Pan-Africans talking about, let's make the movement back to Libya. In some areas, there's some challenges in Nigeria. Even Nigerians are coming here to Ghana because of some of the challenges in their nation. I don't see Ghanaians expelling themselves all over Africa because it's uninhabitable here. And it's embarrassing the way our people are like begging. They're begging, like in the middle of war. in the middle of war. You know, and I don't know about you guys. Some people may have experienced like, you know, eviction or homelessness when you don't have a place to stay, okay? And you don't know where you're about to eat and you don't have money. That is like psychological madness, you know? And the fact that they're being accommodated temporarily. They've just experienced like extreme racism from the Ukrainians. They got to know that, okay, this is temporary. Okay, the Romanians are only going to house them for a limited amount of time. And then it's on. You know, and then it's on. Big shout outs to the family. African Millennial says, I was so upset at Ghana and Nigerian government, but now the government is getting them back. Is that so? That's what this whole episode is about. If you guys just got here, Ghana chartered a plane to Romania to pick up their students. Okay, they said that 17 boarded and 6 refused to board. By the time the plane got there, the other 6 said, "Nah, we're gonna stay here in Romania. We don't want to go back to Ghana." Okay, now first of all, I did ask a trivia question that none of you answered, which was how many of you have ever traveled? Okay, you know these airplanes can carry, you know, 200, 300 people sometimes, okay? So they chartered a plane which was virtually empty, all right? Because 17 passengers on a flight, you know, international flights, like I said, at 200 to 300 people, okay? So they chartered it thinking, you know, they were at least going to have maybe 25 people. Got there, only 17 were ready to leave. Insane. And everybody was slamming the governments. All right. Now, Ghana, I don't know what Nigeria, I believe Nigeria also sent flights to Romania to retrieve its people and things like that. I don't know the Nigerian side yet. This thing is developing and it blows my mind. You know, and Ghanaians act like Ghana is just like so bad. I mean, they act like it's like the worst place to be. And I'm just like, are you serious? But one thing's for sure, Ghana's better than a wartime country. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. I will tell you that definitively right now. You know, you can come here and you can, you know, those that were in Ukraine, you can have a retrieve from the winter time. You know what I mean? You can come here. It's probably going to take a little while for them to sort out. I mean, Ukraine has been attacked by military. Okay, which means there's damage, buildings been shot up, blowed up. You know, I don't know when things are going to resume in terms of campus, you know, school or whatever. And I'm pretty sure because of the circumstances, that is if your documents were legal and stuff. Now, if you were illegal and you got on the plane back to Ghana, then yeah, you're going to be here. Okay. And you can't go back out to Europe, whatever. But if your documents were legal, and obviously you're a victim of, you know, this conflict, you should be able to reorganize yourself to re-travel out there when the time becomes, or, you know, transfer your, I mean, because you got to think about it. The whole country is shut down right now. Okay. There's nobody at your university to get your transcripts. Okay. Nobody at the banks, nobody anywhere to do transactions. So, you know, I just don't get it. Guys, the call lines are open. We have over 30 of you here. Please, what's the like count, guys? And don't forget to support the stream. Today, we're talking about, is Ghana uninhabitable? You know, these students were being evacuated by Ghana government, and they chose to stay in Romania. So that's what we're talking about. This is exactly what I'm saying, Rosh. It left me speechless, actually. Thank you so much, Mr. Uganda. Roshan says, wow, so you telling me people would rather stay in a war than return to their peaceful country? I don't understand. And see, the thing is, like, I'm not one of them lofty people online. I actually live in Ghana. I've actually been living here for 2 years, almost 2 years. Ghana has its problems, but in my opinion, you know, Ghana is sweet. That's what we always say here. Ghana is sweet, though. I don't understand. And you just got discriminated 2 days ago. You know, just imagine that the Russians was on that water. Okay, you know, the Russians, in my opinion, they have displayed sportsmanship because they were not out to, you know, harm the civilians. They sent a notice out to the civilians that, hey, this is a battle between us and the military. We want you guys to get out. We don't want you to be affected. Now, if they was on that nonsense, they could have just rode up to the train station and just put a bomb there and just blew up everybody at the train station. You know what I mean? People are taking unnecessary risk. You know, you are not, and guys, I said it yesterday. When you are a foreigner in these lands, you are a foreigner forever. Okay? You don't want to be in the middle of their madness. You don't want to be there. You know, take this, maybe look at it as a little break, a little holiday. Okay, you know, I'm going to go back to Ghana for like 6 months. Maybe everything will calm down. What if this situation graduates to a war? This is what I don't like, because our people is really, really reactive. You don't think far, as we say here. Okay, what if this situation, okay, Russia and Ukraine are supposed to be negotiating. What if they don't come to an agreement and the war gets back on popping? Okay, what if it expands into neighboring nations? You had a plane come to retrieve you. You rejected that plane, and now you're stuck there. You know, don't take unnecessary chances. If anybody viewing me happens to be in Europe right now, and they need help making this decision, don't take unnecessary risks. You don't know how this conflict is going to go. At least let it calm down. Okay, you got a free ride to go back to your home country while things calm down. It's not like you're there working or anything like that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you called in. African millennial. Big shout outs to her. Hi, sweetie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Into my show, Fisher Pa.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm much happier that this update came through about this.
Okay. So go ahead and I know that I saw your community tab. So African Millennial was like, look, we ain't got nothing to do with this Ukraine, Russia thing. Same position I had. And then, you know, the story keeps developing, you know. So we found out that the students were there, and it's like, okay, what's the next move? So go ahead. What's your thoughts on this topic, babe?
Something is seriously wrong with us. I don't know what's going on. Because, I mean, I get it. Like, we like to complain about Ghana, and I agree with what you said. A lot of the older generation, because the older generation went through something very, very different than the current generation is going through. Like, for instance, my parents used to tell me about stories of famines. And I know that's not happening right now. But in their time, there was a time in the 80s where there was a famine in the country. It was really tough. So you are correct. The country is actually getting better. I know we like to criticize the country a lot, and that comes from disappointment and maybe patriotism. But it is improving. Maybe not as fast as we wanted to see, but the Ghana of like 20 to 30 years ago is not the same Ghana of today. There are improvements that are happening. Now, in regards to this particular case about the students, this is really
that's
sad.
What I'm saying. Would you choose, okay, African millennial, would you choose wartime Eastern Europe? Okay, they done blew up stuff over there. Over a free plane ride to go home to Ghana for the meantime.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because at first I think they were complaining that they couldn't leave the country. Yeah. And now the plane is there and it's free. So now they're saying that they don't want to go back. And they said that they don't want to go back because they don't want to go back and have nothing to do. That's what they said.
I mean, it's just, it's really true. The adage that they say all the time here in Ghana, shout out to my Ghana folk, they say, you don't think far. That they say it.
Yeah.
And it's true, because if you just thought like 2 miles ahead of yourself, you would say, you know what, the circumstances, first of all, you would say, thank God I got out of Ukraine. Okay. Thank God I was not hurt. You know, they were trying to discriminate me at the borders. I was worried. I didn't know what was going to happen. I made it to Romania. Now I'm going home. You know, if you were in your right mind, you would think Europe is not stable, or at least this area of Europe is not stable at the moment. Let me just, you know, take a step back and, you know, but I mean, I was shocked.
Yeah, me
I was
too. I mean,
absolutely shocked.
if you
I was
love the
shocked when I saw
Ukraine
the
that
tweet.
bad, I mean, which is weird. But anyways, some people were using the excuse of, oh, I paid so much for my tuition, I need to graduate. And it's like, do you know what's gonna, someone was saying in a live stream, they're like, do you know what's gonna happen in that country in 3 to 4 years? You're here thinking about a degree. What if something much worse happens and you're stuck versus your degree? Seriously?
I just I don't understand. So, you know, I just wanted to get the opinion of other Ghanaians, um, what they think about it, because I think that it's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
I think that it's crazy. Like, I just really think it's crazy. And, you know, you're currently being housed temporarily in Romania. And do you think that they're just about to let you stay? You know,
Yeah.
like, you're just about to set up shop in Romania because Ukraine, you know, they've had damage. I mean, Russia dropped some missiles on them, blew up some stuff, you know, so they're going to have to rebuild the community and clean it up and all that stuff. And they haven't even reached a negotiation currently. So we don't know what type of time frames, and you're just temporarily permitted to be in another country. So you don't even know how that's going to, you know, they might give you like maybe a 6-month stay. I don't know. What are you going to do after that? You can't work in there. They're not going to allow you to work.
Oh, that's true. True that.
Yeah, they're not going to allow you to work. So you're not getting any income in Romania. They may be providing meals and like shelter, which is probably normal, you know, a refugee situation, but that's not going to last forever. So I don't know. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. If you're just joining us, we're talking about, is Ghana uninhabitable? Okay, a lot of people criticize Nigeria and Ghana for not providing an intervention for the students that are in Ukraine that have been affected. Well, Ghana sent a plane to Ukraine to Romania to pick up the refugees, and some of them said, "Nah, we're gonna stay in Romania." And so that's what we're talking about today. The link is in the chat room if you want to call in and bring in your comments on this, because I just think I don't think Ghana's that bad. I don't think Ghana's that bad. I really don't. Compared to a
Exactly.
country that's experiencing war and so much uncertainty. You know,
Yep,
so much uncertainty, no family around you, you know, no resources. I mean, yeah, if you come back to Ghana, yeah, maybe you're not working right away. You don't have a source of income, but you have a family home to go to. You have a community that you speak the language. You're not going to be discriminated on. There's no violence in your, you know, minimal violence in your country, you know. So if you pro and con it, Ghana is still the option. And it's wintertime in Europe right now. So it's cold as hell out there. You know? Yeah, don't ever forget that, because it's serious. I mean, African millennial, you live in Canada, so it's cold, fam.
Yeah.
It's cold.
And apparently Russia's even colder. So I'm just like, I don't even
Right.
understand that.
Eastern Europe is cold as hell. They get stacks of snow. I've seen loads of pictures. That's why I just never ever want to go out. I mean, in addition to them being white countries, the snow, I'm like, there's nothing for me to go there for. I mean, they got some nice buildings. You can Google it. I don't need to fly out there. It's cold.
Yeah, no, but thinking about it, it is really bad because the only justification that if you ask a lot of them, right, they'll go back to the whole, it's the cheapest degree that we can get. So they're dealing with all of this just because of the cost is their justification.
But they're like not thinking about. I really, I don't know. I don't know, girl, because I'm thinking. I mean, you know, obviously I'm an intellectual. I spend too much time thinking, because I'm like, if you get blowed up, all right, it doesn't matter. Okay, money doesn't matter. And like I was talking to my neighbor, we had a long talk about it today because I went by her shop and she was playing the news and she's like, why would these people refuse the flight? And I'm like, I don't understand. We just had a long conversation because I'm like, you people were moaning that your government hasn't done anything. Then they send the flight. Now you don't want to take the flight. It's crazy. I mean, are any other nationals doing this, like their country? That's like America sending a flight, and by the time they get there, the citizens like, nah, I'm just going to stay here in this war. Like, I'm just going to stay here in this war. Like, it's crazy. I don't understand. So yeah, guys, that's what we're talking about. We have 40 of you guys. Can we get some crowd participation? I want to hear from my Ghanaians. Is Ghana uninhabitable? I live here. I say no. I say Ghana is great. Obviously, Ghana is good for me. I love it here. And I can't imagine why you would refuse a flight to come back to your home during a war crisis in a foreign land.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Now they're international refugees, and they're not getting the what is it? The sympathy that the European counterparts are getting, right? Because on the
Yes.
news you keep hearing about the Ukrainian white refugees that are going to their EU brothers countries and they're getting accepted no problem. So you're a refugee that literally nobody wants because they're too busy
Exactly.
getting the European refugees. Like it doesn't look good. It just
It
doesn't look
doesn't
good.
look good. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, you know, immigration in itself can be a fight, even if you are doing things the normal channels. What about the illegals? I hope that they took that flight because I'm like, bruh, if you was illegal in Ukraine and you managed to slip through the cracks and now you think you about to be illegal in Romania, fam. I don't understand. I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, big shout outs to the family. I see a lot. I guess everybody just want to watch us tonight. I don't know what's up. Because I thought I could get some crowd participation from my Ghanaians on this topic.
Yeah, a co Sunday call in and
Yeah, man, what's up? The link is in the
Frank
chat.
call
This
in.
is a call-in show, fam. I mean, I know I'm
Frederick
free
call
and
in.
y'all like hearing me, but let's get some crowd participation, some super chat action. What's up, guys? And please make sure the likes are up. We're talking about this current event. Yeah. You're not going to see this stuff in the mainstream news. They're not covering anything about the racial disparity that's happening. All these things are coming out through social media. Like I said, I got a tweet. Well, I didn't get it. It was posted in a group that I'm a part of. And a gentleman named Fintuo Tahiro, I believe he's a government official. He said the first batch of 17 evacuees from Ukraine will arrive in Accra from Romania this morning. That was today. He said, but 6 people refused to leave Romania after their flights had already been purchased. They said they were being evacuated against their will, so they had to be left alone. So they probably agreed to, travel back to Ghana. They provided their details, whatever. By the time the flight got to Romania, they said, nah, we're going to just stay here and stick it out in Romania where they have temporary visas, probably refugee visas. And it's insane. So that's what we're talking about tonight. I'm trying to get a feedback from my Ghana foe, but you guys are quiet and shy today. I appreciate African Millennial for helping out and calling in. So yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, I don't feel like it's an uninhabitable place, and I certainly wouldn't choose to be in wartime Europe over being here.
And it's
At least
just
you guys have
crazy
the
that
lights up.
people would not mind being treated like animals in someone else's country.
Man.
I mean, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and try to take away people's personal experiences with Ghana. I get it. But at the same time, during a war or crisis in Ghana, you wouldn't be treated like this in your own country.
That's
You
right.
wouldn't. But
Yep.
someone else does it, and then you complain about it. Who are you going to complain to? The Ukraine government owes nothing to Ghanaians just because they're
Right.
international students. No offense, like you're $7,000, $8,000 a year. That's not much. That's nothing.
Big shout outs to you. Sarah C says Ukraine is looking pretty uninhabitable right about now. Say that. Say that. Okay. I
Well, they
mean,
were talking
I don't
about.
know. Europe,
I don't know.
I
Did
live
you
in
did you
UK.
watch some
I
of
mean,
those reports? They were talking about the students are in bunkers. I'm like, I've never seen a bunker in my life. You guys are here living under bunkers, living in basements for cover.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, is Africa that bad? Like, is it that bad? I mean, me personally, I live in Ghana. I'm going to say definitively, Ghana is not that bad. Period. No. Okay. Ghana is not that bad that I'm going to be living struggle life in Europe during a war. No. I mean, and the craziest thing is like, okay, like I said, right now, Russia and Ukraine are having their negotiations, trying to work something out. But y'all know that Putin is bad about it. He might just say, you know what, none of this is meeting my criteria. All right. And if he says that and the war goes back full swing, now these people are going to be stuck in Europe again. They're going to be moaning like, oh my God, I should have took the plane to Ghana. Oh my God, they're blowing up everything. And you had an opportunity to leave and you stayed there. You know what I mean? Because think about it. They went to Romania and they went to Poland. Those countries border Ukraine.
Yeah.
So if this thing goes on, they're just a border away from the drama in Ukraine. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. I don't understand. I don't understand. But yes, this is the current events. I've been covering this Ukraine Russia thing hard because it's unbelievable. This was a turn and twist that I couldn't foresee. I've never heard anything like this, and my people continue to just like disappoint me because it says so much that in the middle of crisis you want to stay you want to stay in the middle of war than come to your own country.
Right.
And you even got a free ticket.
These Ghanaians
All
are
right.
being ungrateful. Nana Akufo-Addo did e-levy trying to raise money for you.
Oh God.
They're trying to get more taxpayers for you guys, and you guys are ungrateful.
That's what I'm saying. They paid for that plane. You know that plane had like 200, 300 seats on it. And only 17 came back. So that plane was empty. They wasted money on the plane, basically. You know what I mean? For 17 people, tops, if everybody would have came back, that's like 25 people. That's still not a lot. And I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to barter that there's more than 25 Ghanaians affected by this whole situation. So I don't know. And I would say that those of you guys that have criticized Nigeria and Ghana, you just should zip it, okay? Because they actually did send a flight, and your brothers and sisters said, "Nah, I'm going to ride out the war. I'm going to ride it out." Okay, we got Christina here. We're going to bring her in. Christina.
Hi, Gina. How are you?
Hi, sweetie. How are you? Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. So, just to give a little bit of background from my own perspective, I am an African living in America.
Okay.
I'm the first generation born here, but raised in my culture, very knowledgeable about things on the continent, thanks to YouTubers like you who are educating us. It's just really lit so much of our flames, and I'm always commenting on your videos, and we share the
Thank you
same
so
birthday.
much.
So no, I must say I'm impressed that Nigerian and Ghanaian governments sent a plane.
Send
So,
planes, yes.
I wanted to say that first and foremost, but I like to also play devil's advocate sometimes, right? This is what I was thinking. What if perhaps in the mindset of those that have stayed behind, right? Like, say their parents, because you know how sometimes they'll send their kids to go to school, the whole village is celebrating, like, yes, our kid is going abroad to
Yeah, the
to
pressure.
learn. Yeah, the pressure. They're like, you go there, you finish your program, and you make it work. And sometimes they don't even understand what their kids are really doing to survive in some of these countries, but that's a whole nother
It's
conversation.
that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, so I was thinking, what if perhaps they're pressured and their parents are like, no, just stay there and go elsewhere because if you leave there, you don't know if the government will give you another visa to go back. And so just write it out. I hope that's not the case, but I'm thinking, what if that's,
It could be. I mean, that is real talk. But I would say, I mean, I would say, and again, if we have any viewers that are directly affected by this, I would say please take into consideration your well-being. Okay.
yeah,
War and violence and white people is a bad combination. You don't want to take chances with your life. Okay. Because guess what? If you, like I said, if you get blown up, because all those
yeah,
armies have they have missiles, bombs, tanks. We seen them on TV. The Russians
yeah,
had tanks. They was rolling up the street in their tanks. Okay. So if
wow,
you get dead,
yeah,
you're not going to also have anything to come back to Ghana with.
yeah,
So I would encourage you, I would heavily encourage you to preference your safety. And I
yeah,
know it's difficult when you have, you have these massive families and you kind of have to stand up to them or advocate on your
mm-hmm,
behalf. But I mean, you can put it like that, like, hey mom, they got bombs out here. I don't want to take the risk. I understand what's riding on this, but I want to survive and be alive. And you might even get crude and be like, do you want me to do you want to put on your red and black and gone too soon and what a shock, and do you want that, because that
yeah,
could potentially be the option, you
yeah,
know so that's what we're talking about. And I mean, me, I don't take unnecessary chances. I'm not the risk taker like that. So I would just put it to my parents very, very straight that it's unstable here and there's violence going on here and war, and I don't want to be a victim of it.
yeah,
So
great,
but you raise a really good point, because I know that familial pressure is serious. I know it's a
yeah,
serious thing here, not just here in Ghana but across the continent. People, their families are very influential.
yeah,
So I understand. That's a great point. That's a great
yeah,
point.
yeah, well,
All right.
yeah,
So
and
we also have, go ahead, Christina, finish. We also have Afroscope. I'm gonna add him to the stream.
oh, okay.
Go ahead, Christina. You can finish your comments.
My comment, I was just gonna say, because I'm here in the States, I don't know if you still pay any attention to like mainstream news media like CNN or Fox News, but it's interesting just the level of compassion and the 24-hour coverage that's going on in Ukraine, right? But for example, when Haiti was going through hell not too long ago,
Girl.
and they tried to cross the Mexican border, these people, the US Border Patrol was like whipping them, not letting them cross, and there was no constant covering and
Yeah, there's
sympathy.
there's no, like, anything that
Yeah,
affects black people,
black
people of color,
people.
Africans. Like, there's not. I was informed that there was an airstrike this weekend in Somalia. We didn't hear anything about it.
Nope.
The U.S. is attacking Somalia. You
Mm,
know, and there's not nothing. And I mean, to a certain degree, I do also challenge my other content creators. We have to be the voice in this space to inform our people. Just like I'm talking about this topic, many of the people in the chat, they were not aware of this, they hadn't heard of it. The racism that was happening in Ukraine, none of that stuff is happening. It's not in the mainstream. you know so we have to be the voice. We have to report on these stories, inform our peers of what's happening here on the continent best that we can. And for people that's in a position that maybe can formulate an even large news network, that is able to cover the continent and keep us abreast. Because unfortunately, we do rely on the mainstream media for a lot of stuff,
yeah.
and they're only going to skew it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're never going to show our side of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you and people like you for what you do. And
Thank
yeah,
you, Christina. Thank
take
you for
care.
not being shy and calling in, and so that I could get your take on it. You raised a really good point. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Take care, sweetheart. Big shout outs to Christina. She raised the fact that maybe the students in Eastern Europe, their parents may be weighing in and saying, "Hey, I know there's bombs over Ukraine, but we need you to stay out there for the family." If that's your situation, you need to kind of put your foot down. Don't be stupid. Okay. Like I said, if you get blowed up, you can't graduate. So don't take unnecessary risk. All right. Big shout outs to the family. Please make sure you guys like the stream, support the stream. Afroscope TV, what do you have to contribute to our topic tonight?
Good evening. Good evening
Good
from
evening, sir. Thank you for calling in.
yeah. I've been watching your show from the day you not the day, but from the start, from the
I
old.
know, I know. I always see you. I see a lot of engagement from you in our chats and stuff. So it's really nice to hear from you for the first time. Thank you.
Yeah, and greetings to my sister African Millennia and all the people in the chat
Yeah.
watching as well. When I saw this topic, I you know what. I said this one. I said it before on another panel that some of the Ghanaian students, the ones that I know, said that they are not coming back. And it's not that Ghana is uninhabitable. Is that they are asking the question, what are they coming back to? Some of them are like, even if I have scholarship, I have to think about the air ticket, flying back. If even yes, of course they will be lifted from the Ghanaian government sent planes, right, to leave them from the Ukraine or other
Yeah, from
countries,
from
right?
Romania. The tweet that I saw today was from Romania. So they
Yeah.
sent a plane there, picked up 17 people, and 6 refused and said they're going to stay in Romania on their temporary visa.
Yes, definitely. Like when maybe they want to go back to school, or a lot of them, the ones that said they are not coming back, most of them are actually students. They are like, oh, what about if I want to go back? Like, you know, how would they also
So
provide?
so 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 the immediate like welfare, what I'm getting, from so far from those of you that have called in, is there's really not an awareness for your personal safety, because people are thinking about, oh, I want to graduate, oh, I spent money, what if I go to Ghana, I can't
Yes.
get back, my family's depending on me. I mean, is it not resonating to them that they are in a crisis situation? They're, I mean, I don't
Oh,
understand.
you know what? When you think about the situation, right? Some of us, especially like Africans, when we get this opportunity to go abroad, it's like, you know, it's like when we because most of the time the route to get a residency permits and all the work visas is mostly through education, right? So when they get there and they get this education and they have their connections, they easily, in Europe, they easily go to countries like Poland or other European countries, right? And it's easy to transitional in those countries. So that is why when they reach there, it's like, yes, I've finally made it. So why would I come back home?
This is so what do you think about the African millennial? Do you concur with that? Do you think that's, part of it is they're just like not really worried about their safety, or they're so focused on I need to be in Europe, that they're just putting their life at risk, really.
Yeah, I think that the gamble for them is worth it, but they're not obviously thinking long term. They're thinking of the short term.
Yeah.
Or maybe, anyways, they're just thinking about they need to graduate, they need to get the degree, and that's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about anything
It's
else.
it's so wild to me. I mean, it's so
Yes.
wild to me. And I mean, I think psychologically as well, there's some low self-esteem there, because the value of their life is not paramount. They're thinking about other things instead of their safety. Meanwhile, their white counterparts in Ukraine was like, we need to get the hell out. Okay, we need to get on these trains. We need to get across the border. They didn't have that
Yes.
mindset of
Even there are Africans who want to get on the plane, but the motive of getting on the plane is not actually to come back to come back to Africa. It's actually to go to other European countries and seek for asylum or something. I know somebody was like that, because it's an opportunity to, get on a seek for asylum and all of those things. So yeah,
wow.
you know what? When you're on the continent, even leaving the continent is difficult. You see, and so think about it. You made it to Europe, and now why will you return when you don't even have um, the work permits and all of those things that you when you have it, you know that you are secured. When you come back, you can easily go back. But when you hold in fact, even if you hold a Ghanaian, let me get the West
This is
African
really
passport.
unfortunate. I'm
Yeah, if
sad
you
to
hold
hear
a
this, really, to be honest. I'm sad to hear this,
if
but
you hold
I
a
do
West
I
African,
do I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying. And also big shots to Beliza. She said people who know war know what's up. And I think that's also
That's the
another thing,
problem.
because Ghana is a
That's the
peaceful
problem.
country. People
definitely.
here in Ghana don't know war. For those of you that don't know much about Ghanaian history, there's not been war here. So people here have not lived through that kind of strife to be afraid of it, and for them to kind of take the seriousness of this situation, into consideration, that they need to evacuate, that they don't really need
Yes.
to take unnecessary chances.
I'll also add to it that the government should also provide aid to the people that will be coming back. If they just want to bring them back, what are they coming back to when there's no jobs? And a lot of graduates here have a lot of the degrees already. So, are you coming to?
Yeah,
What are
but
you
I mean,
coming back
but,
to?
but it's a wartime situation. I mean, I think the government has done what they needed to do, which was evacuate them. You know what I mean? They
They
can't.
should add money to it.
I mean, that's not
That's
realistic.
negotiable, yeah.
And there's nobody else who's doing that. I mean, I guarantee the people that were living in Ukraine, the Americans that were living in the Ukraine, the British that were living in the Ukraine, they're not getting accommodated in their home countries. Like, okay, we got you a house, we got you a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our duty is to get our citizens to safety. So for that measure, I got to give it to Nigeria. I got to give it to Ghana. They did step up and do what they were supposed to do, but I don't know. Maybe our people are just never satisfied, because to me, if I was in the middle of a war crisis, my first thought is get to safety. That's it. We can worry about everything else, because if I get blowed up, I can't do any of the things that I'm thinking about. And also, we even have a time frame. Like you're talking a lot about the education, and I do, now that you said this, and being here in Ghana with the youth here, I could totally see them being in that frame of mind, which is, it's been a struggle to get here. I need to finish my education. My family depends on me, but you don't even know what the situation is going to be like in Ukraine. You don't even know when it's going to stabilize now. You have no idea, so maybe you just need to go back to block one, right now, and try to strategize the future, like see how the dust settles, and then try to get yourself back together.
I think you answered the question in the live stream. There's no sense of urgency because they've never experienced a war.
Yeah,
They've
they
never
never had war in
experienced
Ghana.
danger like that, so they don't know
Mm-hmm.
because the Ukrainians and the Russians, they're serious. They know what they need to do. They have the bunkers. They're used to the army tanks. This is nothing. So they're in bliss.
They done
The
had
Ghanaians,
world
they're in
wars.
bliss. They
You
don't
know.
understand what's going on.
Oh, big shout out to you. Were you finished with your point, Mr. Afroscope? Mr.
Yes,
Afroscope
I'm
TV.
finished. Yes, yeah, I'm finished. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Good to see you. Okay, big shout outs. We got our brother in the corner there, Mr. Investing. Go ahead and drop your gems on this topic. What do you think? Is Ghana an uninhabitable place or what?
No, I definitely wanted to give a quick shout out to you and also AM. I definitely came through from AM, so appreciate both of y'all.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, as far as for me, I don't think that is bad. I think the problem is we're romanticize this infrastructure that we live in currently, and it's not
Mm.
sustainable. Like this and I've been telling people this for a while. This infrastructure is not sustainable. That they None of the stuff that they build can last on its own without upkeeping. None of the stuff that they even have, the irrigation systems or any of that. They're running out of water in the west side of the country to the point of 40 million people are getting ready to lose power. The Colorado River has lost 60% of the water supply that it had in just 10 years. So and even if we don't even look at that, and we look at we're in a country where white people have went in literally and marched in on the Capitol, and black people are still moving around globally as if nothing around them is happening. The people that built this system that's against you don't even believe in that system anymore. But for some strange reason, we're
We
fighting
believe in
for it.
it.
We
We,
believe in it.
we yeah, we believe in it. Like the signs and symptoms is there, but we still like, I'm gonna just like these people. Big shout outs to the
Yeah.
family. Today we're talking about, is Ghana uninhabitable? For those of you that just joined, because I see we have over 50 of you now. Basically, the Ghanaian government sent a plane to Romania to retrieve the students that are stranded there, and only 17 boarded. And the six decided, you know what, I'm just going to stay in Romania and roll the dice in the middle of war. So we're talking about, what is it that our people are thinking, that they're in the middle of wartime, okay, in Eastern Europe, and they've had an option to go home for free. They criticize the African governments for not responding. And though they sent a plane, now they said, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and stay here in Romania and roll the dice. So big shout outs. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. I just wanted to recap for everybody in here.
No, definitely. I'll just make just this last point. As far as even when we like in general, I think we're all kind of expect for things to just go back to normal. And I think
Mm.
we seen that with what happened with the whole situation a few years ago that started, and we still living in that today. I think we believe that things will just go back to the way that they were, and they're not. And I think until we realize that, we're going to continue. We're going to be left holding a dollar that doesn't that has no value, and that's where we headed. But I definitely appreciate the bill, and I'm definitely listening, sis. Definitely.
Thank you, sweetie. I thank you so much for dropping your gems. It was good to hear from you. Much love to you. Thank you so much. Big shout outs to the family. Big shout outs to the African superstar family. Man, we had a lot of callers. Everybody brought something beautiful to the topic, and I appreciate from hearing from you guys. I think that it's kind of unanimous among my viewers that it's really crazy that these people have chosen to stay in wartime Europe over come back to Ghana. But big shout outs to my Ghana folk for shedding some light as to where their mentality may be. Worried about finishing school, maybe family pressures, thinking that they're going to come back to nothing, you know, and also the reality that they haven't experienced war. And our last brother, he just pointed out our fascination, our obsession with the West. We believe in these systems when even the people around us don't believe. Those of us that are here on the continent, we're seeing more and more non-Black people come here, okay, and seek refuge from the chaos that's happening out in the world. Yet our people are still eager to go be out there, even in the middle of war. you know and so therefore I do encourage my Ghanaian people that maybe have connections or ties to these people in Europe. Please do encourage them to think it through. you know do not sit by while they make a very dangerous decision. We don't know what the future holds, but it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better, prevention is better than a cure. Okay, don't take unnecessary chances. Just in case Romania might be on Russia's hit list. We don't know. And now you done escaped Ukraine, and now you went to Russia thinking, I'm in the clear, I'm safe, everything's going back to normal. And here comes the Russian tanks rolling back up in Poland, rolling into Russia. Rolling into Romania. So I think we had a really great conversation tonight. Much love to the family. This is a subscriber only chat, so if you weren't able to get your comments in there, you need to make sure you subscribe to the channel and stop being on that water. I do also want to give a big shout out to all my moderators, everybody with a wrench. I also want to acknowledge my members only who have a circle next to their name. I just want to let you guys know I dropped a new members only video today. It is my behind the scenes of my dentist show episode. Holla! I was recently on the dentist show, which is a really big deal here in Ghana. I shot my episode last week, so I will let you guys know when that does air, but the behind the scenes is for my members only. And also big shout outs to those of you that have been contributing to our music project. It's still going on, guys. As soon as we have enough funds, we're going to shoot that next music video. I'm going to drop it on YouTube like it's hot. Okay. Make sure you like the stream. You guys were super on code. I love the family. Thanks again to everybody who called in and dropped your perspective. It was so crucial. It shed a lot of light, maybe on what is going on. And to my other content creators, keep hope alive. Keep making sure we get these stories out to our people. Let's keep them informed about what's happening and share our perspectives, because we know it's not in the mainstream media. Holla. Okay. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.